That's weird. That's weird. Kind of weirding me out.
You are a sad, strange little man.
Crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Isn't that weird?
That's weird, man.
It's strange.
What's up, campers? Welcome back to episode 102 of Camp Strange. I am your camp counselor, Alex
And I'm
Tobin.
your camp counselor, David Stokes.
And we're back to bring the spooky, wacky, weird, strange, and medieval. And before we get into our longer stories today, we got to catch you up on any of the news you may have missed. And I have a great news article here as viral sensation Dr. Stella Emanuel says Jesus will destroy Facebook if her COVID video doesn't go back up.
It's always fun to threaten things with a religious figure.
I think Jesus destroyed Facebook a couple of years ago by letting all of our aunts and uncles
That's
on
true.
it.
He didn't want to just outright destroy it. He wanted to let it kill itself.
Exactly. And Jesus said, let there be relatives who have very concerning political views that they share freely without any repercussions.
I think it's been over a year since I've been on Facebook. Has it changed?
I go in every once in a while.
I straight up just deleted my account.
Oh, really? That's probably for the best. I mean, anything to scrub the internet of your past, David. I mean, we all know
It's
that
bad.
you have a very problematic past.
Yeah.
But
No presidential candidate
guys-
run for me.
But I guess you guys want to know about what this video is. So this video that this lady, Dr. Stella Emanuel, posted on Facebook was it's a controversial video touting hydroxychloroquine, chloroquine.
Yeah. There you go.
I'm a man of science. I'm not a man of pronunciation.
Yeah,
pronunciation.
That's a tough wall to jump over.
Well, it's hydrochloroquine or whatever, as a cure for COVID-19. And I had to look up what hydrochloroquine is. I'm just kidding. I knew what it was off the top of my head. But it's an immunosuppressive drug and anti-parasite, and it can treat and prevent malaria. And it also treats lupus and arthritis. And it definitely does not treat COVID-19.
Yeah.
And so they took it down for like false, like this is,
Not
this
true.
is telling people to buy medication that will not fix their problems. Yeah. And then she tweeted, "Hello Facebook, put back." She tweeted this, like, I don't know, Facebook. She even tagged Facebook. She just said, "Hello Facebook," like they're just gonna search for it. Put back my profile page and videos up, or your computers will start crashing. Will start crashing till you do. You are not bigger than God, I promise you. If my page is not back up, Facebook will be down in Jesus' name.
I've got a great partner for this lady.
Who's that?
A man named Alex Jones. They need to team up.
Oh.
Did I tell you about what I saw at the gas station the other day?
No, but you know what? The next thing I'm going to say is exactly what Alex Jones would say, but I'll let you go tell me what you saw at the gas station.
I saw a lady wearing a, classic face mask, one of those good, black fabric ones. And it had printed right across it, Infowars.com.
Oh, you did tell me about
Isn't that a
this.
little insane that someone who supports... Like, is that just like basically the same thing as wearing a mask that has like a middle finger on it, kind of like fuck you? Because like we all know, and I can't confirm it. I just know deep down in my heart that Alex Jones thinks COVID-19 is a hoax. And you know how he does that. There's no way in hell he believes it.
I feel like it's like the equivalent of like, instead of just giving the middle finger, it's like somebody going to the library and then like pretending like they read every book in there and then bragging about that they read every book in there and that they're smarter than you. And they're like, I read every book here. You're like, no, you didn't. You're like, yes, I did. And I know every cure to every sickness. And like, it's just it's a lot of ego involved, which is very weird. So that does make sense that like people who, no, I'm not shitting on Infowars because it's my favorite show. God. But people who
love it.
watch Infowars are like the people who think that they're like they have a leg up on everybody else, and they're like, I figured it out. Me and Alex Jones figured it out, and you guys. So like they're just kind of bragging about it. So they would slap a sticker. There's no shame involved there. They think they're smarter, and that's what happens with a lot of the people who don't want to wear masks. It's either like an authoritarian problem where they don't like being told what to do, or it's like a maybe they're insecure about like their knowledge or like I don't know, just being intelligent. I really don't know, but they're just like so anti-mask. They think that they're like, now I'm smarter than everybody else because I know something that they don't know. Like, see, I'm the smart one now, and you're like, no.
There's no truth to anything that you believe.
Yeah. But there is a lot of truth to what this lady believes, because she refers to herself as God's battle axe and weapon of war.
Hell yeah.
And claims that medical issues like endometriosis, cysts, infertility, and impotence are caused by sex with spirit husbands.
Oh.
And spirit wives, and it's a phenomenon described essentially as witches and demons having sexual intercourse with people in a dream world.
I mean, I swear to God, if I come home from work again and my spirit husband hasn't made dinner and finished the dishes, when I get home, I'm gonna be so mad again.
That's so crazy. I mean, they're kind of plugging into the whole succubus incubus type thing, but she has an explanation for her spirit husbands and wives, and it says they turn into a woman and then they sleep with a man and collect his sperm, Emmanuel said, according to the outlet. They then turn into the man and they sleep with the man and deposit the sperm and reproduce more of themselves. Oh,
that was the worst sentence I've ever heard in my life. I could have gone without whatever the fuck you just said. That didn't make any sense.
Dude, this lady's a doctor. She has a white coat.
Is she dating like a sea snail? Isn't that the one that fucks itself and reproduces?
I just thought she was just like, I thought you just. I was like, that's a great insult, just calling somebody a sea snail.
Yeah.
Like you're pond scum. You're a sea snail. You're like, oh. But she obviously, I wouldn't be surprised if she bought this white coat at the party store. I'm a doctor this year. But it's just so fucking crazy. It's really weird to see somebody with like, you know, a doctorate, but also like such hardcore views on like certain religions or like viewpoints. I'm not knocking like religions and stuff, but like certain things that are just like go against science so much. And you're like, you can't be like really, really, really spiritual and also be a doctor. They don't really mesh because they're counteracting on each other. So it's just kind of strange.
Yeah,
to
that's someone
you know?
who just jumped through the hoops and then let on their batshit crazy stuff after they got their degree.
Exactly. Yeah. But do you have a some news for us?
Can I get a yeehaw?
Yeehaw.
This one's for all of our lovely ladies in Texas who are trying to become lawyers because tampons and pads are no longer banned at Texas bar exams.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I guess Texas had tampons and pads banned from bar exams.
Is it because you can write your cheat notes on it and then hide them in your
choose it
really
carefully.
I don't know where they go. Where do you put them, in your belly button or something, so like all the water doesn't come out of your stomach? It's like a bathtub plug.
I've got an idea. It's either that they were writing cheats inside of the wrappers or some shit like that, or maybe it was like an excuse to be like, oh, I need to leave the room and then come back in like 3 minutes or whatever.
That's fucking crazy though. That just has to be like, that doesn't even make sense. You could do that with like anything. You'd be like, I gotta take a fat shit.
Yeah. No, you gotta take that
like,
dumper
okay,
before.
Yeah, just go. And then if some lady has like her tampon or maxi pad on the desk while she's doing her test, you'd be like, what are you doing? And she's like, none of your business. Like, people are just gonna be like, okay, that's kind of weird, but like, you know, not my body, I guess. I don't know.
Hold on, I gotta.
I'm trying to tiptoe around this to be like the most.
Holy fuck! All right, so I decided to Google.
David, give me information.
I know that we're both men of law, along with science, but our law does not acknowledge this so-called bar exam. It's that's just what the government makes you do. Do you know how long it takes to take the goddamn bar exam?
Oh no.
It is
no
2-day long exam consisting of 12 hours.
Oh my god, what the fuck? That's 2 shifts.
Yeah.
Right there. I better get paid.
Yeah.
I better get paid to do that bar exam.
Yeah.
The only bar exam I know is a nice cold root beer and a peanut butter candy bar.
Poolside, baby.
And a nice bullet to the ball sack. Where are all our old listeners at?
They're probably gone.
That was. They were gone when we mentioned the first time the guy got shot through the ball
Yeah,
sack.
they were here for the second coming.
If you guys are very interested in that, you can go. What is the peanut butter candy bar?
You
There's
name the
peanut butter in the
episodes, I
title
don't
of the
know.
episode. Yeah, I don't know.
I do the editing,
It
you
was
do
in
the naming.
30s, 20s. I don't know. Anyway, well, that's very interesting, David, and I hope that everybody could have tampons and maxi pads at all times, wherever
as they
want
should.
them. You know, that's my platform as president. Everybody gets maxi pads and tampons.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with it. I also have wow, we're very controversial today,
Love it.
David. As Greek Orthodox priests say, gay people are caused by pregnant women having anal sex. I'll just say this one quote where they say, where is it?
Where's the quote?
The bishop said that when the woman enjoys anal sex, a desire is created, which is then transmitted to the unborn child. Oh, I hate when my child is full of desire. I fucking hate it. From all that anal. I don't know.
Do you know the
crazy.
fun RV game?
What?
I didn't know this one until like 2 weeks ago, but apparently when you're
Is that what? Wait, did you say the fun RV game?
Yes.
And we're talking about anal?
Oh, bump the brakes, buddy. So you know when you're
Uncle
driving down
Timmy.
the freeway and you see this big ass fucking camper that comes by that says like dark wood growler.
Yeah, whatever.
They always
the-
have those
the-
insane
just the
names.
Hulkin.
This
Yeah. Oh,
this
yeah,
is a
yeah,
fun
for
game.
sure.
Apparently you don't know about it. If any of our listeners don't know about it, I was taught this recently. When you see these just ridiculous RV names, it's a fun game to put the word anal before or after.
Oh.
So you'd get like, anal panther. Or
Oh.
yeah. It's a fun game.
That's- What do you do with that knowledge once you have it? Do
You
share
just say it
with
out
the
loud
people
and
in
you
the
get a good
car?
laugh. That's all you need.
You better.
There's no winners
you
or
better
losers.
Establish that game. You better establish that game before you fucking start playing it.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I misspoke. I said there's no winners and there's no losers or winners, but there's clearly just winners. Everybody wins at this game.
Anal air breeze. Like, oh, is that kind of like a fart? No, it's like a big camper that you have anal in. You idiot. You fucking idiot.
I was just gonna Google some RV brand names, but I found an article. It's 101 perfect names for your RV or camper trailer, and it's
Oh, there's people naming their RVs.
yeah, it's literally just like Bubbles, like Unicorn.
I think it's. I just can't wait until we go after boats for all having female names. That is so sexist. I can't.
I want a
stand it.
boat named Richard.
I want a boat named Len.
Len or Glenn.
It's not a boy or a girl name. No, Len. Len.
Okay.
Isn't that a band who sang "Steal My Sunshine"?
Whoa. I don't know.
Man, that song really stole my sunshine. Ba-dum.
All right.
Anyway. Okay, you got any more news?
Yeah, I got two more. One's a quick one. Well, they're both quick ones.
Do you like "Steal My Sunshine" by Len?
I didn't
I'm
know.
not that big of a fan. It kind of creeps me out.
I didn't know who did it, but God, I love riding my tricycle with a big old lollipop in the summertime listening to that song. if it's the song
I
I'm
guess
thinking
you do
of.
like it. That image stole my sunshine. So please continue with your story before I get more sunshine.
So, man fires at officers with AK-47 a day after refusing to wear a mask.
Yeah, I remember I said like some people don't wear masks because they think they're smarter than other people.
Man, I don't know.
This guy just thought he had an AK-47, which he did.
He did.
Which made him seem like he couldn't wear a mask. Or he didn't have to,
Yeah.
I guess.
He should.
Fucking crazy.
What if he just had like the gun strap over his face and the gun was like behind him? This is my face mask. Made
it's
in
like
Russia.
when somebody plays the. It's like when somebody plays the guitar behind their head, but he's doing that with an AK-47
Exactly.
and shooting it at the same time. Whoa! Call Call Buddy Holly.
Oh,
up.
call up
That's
Slash.
pretty neat. That's pretty neat. Oh, okay, Slash. Your guitar player is cooler than
You know
mine.
what's Slash's real name? Do you know?
Slash you. Slash is short for slash you.
Slash's real name is Saul Hudson. Boo. That's boring. All right.
Well, I don't think anything's gonna beat fucking Slash, David. There's a reason he changed his name to Slash.
That's true. That's very true. Saul. So I've got one more. This one's for you specifically. None of our listeners. Everybody,
Okay.
close your ears. This is just for Tobin.
Thank you, David.
Chris Hansen teams up with who?
Hulk Hogan.
Chris Hansen teams up with the Insane Clown Posse to help catch a predator.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
See, this is what the fam's all about. Whoop whoop. Can I get a whoop whoop?
Did I do that right?
Yeah. I mean, it's all family. dude.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna judge you. That's not why we're here.
Yeah.
But wait, so like, what happened? Did like Chris Hansen like trap the guy, and then they ran in and tackled him, and then, like made him drink Faygo until he passed
Well,
out?
I think unfortunately for the Insane Clown Posse, there's a pretty big trend of when Chris Hansen catches people, he sees a lot of Hatchet Men and Insane Clown Posse T-shirts.
Oh no, those are fake fans.
Yeah, but I do want to say, I didn't read the whole article obviously because I never fucking do, and I just clicked on this one last second. But in the first paragraph, it ends with Hansen claiming that he was proud. No, he was proud to be a juggalo. So Chris Hansen, ladies and gentlemen, self-proclaimed juggalo. That's all that matters. You
That's
don't need
my
to know.
boy.
You don't need to know anything else about this story except for the fact that Chris Hansen is now a juggalo.
The posse got Hansen. Come at us.
Yeah.
We good. We strong. We Hansen deep. Now we just need the band Hansen.
Oh,
Then
here's a
set.
good Violent J quote. History will tell you when Chris Hansen's on your ass, you're done.
Whoa. See, we just kind of like recruited the most powerful man in sting operations. You would think it would be Sting or Slash.
Well, apparently, now I'm just scanning for quotes, and here's a quote that says ICP had actually written a song lyric stating, Chris Hansen is a juggalo, but he don't know it.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And
I agree with that statement.
Hansen, he replied to that saying, I'm honored to be a juggalo. I really am.
Okay,
I don't
Chris,
think he knows
adding
what
the
it
I
is.
really am makes it seem like you're not. Okay, you can't say I really am. Okay.
Well, I don't know what type of tone it was in. You know, that's just
Yeah.
that's typed.
Stop being sarcastic, okay,
Chris.
Hansen. But you know, I'm gonna wave it this time. But once we get the band Hansen in the group,
God,
then you're fucked. You're kicked out.
I wish
okay?
Chris Hansen was
'Cause
Daddy Hansen of the band. How good of a twist would that have been?
he birthed all of them because he's a sea slug.
Exactly.
Who just, procreates with himself and pops out little Hansons and makes bands.
Is it sea slug or
Makes-
sea snail?
Makes Bansons.
Mansons.
Anyway, are we caught up on all the news, David?
Yes, we are.
Okay, I thought we might be. And before we continue, I just want to give a quick little shout out to Israel and Kat up in Oregon. Thank you guys for listening. We appreciate that you guys listen to all of our stupid talking every single week, and you know.
Well, before
I
you go
don't
any
know.
further, they're now in Tennessee.
Okay.
But they
Well,
are the devoted listeners, and they even have our sticker on their little, those little traveling cases on top of cars.
Oh,
They
hell
got
yeah.
our sticker up
That's
there. Big shout out for
We're a
that.
billboard. We've been in how many states are between Oregon and Tennessee? We've been in that many states.
Well, shit, I know my mom put them up all over Hawaii, so I don't know if she's
That's
allowed
cool.
in that state again.
She was putting them on sea turtles and letting them go back in the ocean.
Right when they hatch, just slap it on.
That turtle was mostly stick.
I hope that one made it to the water. I couldn't tell.
Thank you, Jody. Before we go any further, I want to say drink some Spring Hill Jack. It's great coffee. Just
Great
go
coffee.
drink it.
Great coffee.
Just do it. If you're not doing it, do it. Just do it.
I feel like I should
Okay.
put in that Shia LaBeouf right there.
Okay, well, now let me get into my story. And one last shout out. I always want to say thank you to our listener Ed for he sent me a little email and he recommended the story and I started reading into it and it was very, very interesting. So thank you, Ed.
It pays to pay attention to the emails, I guess.
Sometimes I check email just as much as Facebook.
Yeah.
You know?
This email was sent 3 months ago.
I'm like, what do you mean I have a warrant?
Ed is no longer with us, but I'm sure he's gonna love it.
So let's get into it. Now, David, most stories we read about on Camp Strange are, of course, strange.
Yeah.
But some stories are sometimes so strange that it's hard to tell what's actually going on. Of course, when it comes to confusing strange things in true crime, it usually ends with a courtroom and a hearing. Where the people get to decide what is strange and mysterious and what is actually fact. And that is why today I will be telling you about the story of the death of Alexander Stevens. It's a very strange case. I think it's still open technically. There was some resolution, but there might be like appeals and stuff going on, but it's very weird and all over the place. So I guess let's just get into it. So, on January 3rd, 2017, in Northern Maryland, Stephen Moon received a phone call from his ex-girlfriend and close friend, Tristan Stevens. Tristan was calling about the whereabouts of her twin brother, Alexander Stevens. Thinking Moon might have some clue because of the fact that they had been best friends since middle school, but unfortunately, he had no idea where Alexander Stevens was. Also, fraternal twins. What's going on there?
Ooh.
They always just scare me a little bit
weird
more.
Going on there.
See, people go, "Oh, I don't like identical twins. They scare me." I say fraternal twins are much scarier.
You don't know where they're going. You don't know what they're doing. I don't like it.
I feel like they all got yo-yos on them at all times for some reason. I don't know
killer
why.
bee.
I'm more of a Duncan man.
Yeah.
But okay. So after a couple unanswered phone calls to Steven's phone, Moon decided to think of a couple spots where he thought that Stevens might have been. The first spot was a local cemetery where Stevens would go have graveyard picnics with his ferrets and his friends.
Oh, lovely. Those things smell like piss.
I did. The salami sandwich stinks like piss. Was it the ferrets? Yes. Oh, yes, it was the ferrets.
No, it's not my pickle.
Oh, darn ferrets.
It's not my pickled piss salami. It's the ferrets.
I'll eat them all. Just pass them over to me. I'll take one for the team, guys. But and also we didn't mention that we did mention, but we didn't talk about that he's in a graveyard.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I go and drink wine at the graveyard and put in my vampire tea.
It's a great place for a picnic.
And to be completely honest, as a child growing up, that's when I was a child, and my dad, for fun, we used to sometimes go find a graveyard, and then we would walk through. I don't know if this is blasphemous or not all right, but he would go and be like, "Oh, see this person?" And he find somebody with an interesting name, and he create a fake backstory for us, and it was always really weird, and kind of fun. And then what we would do is. This is so negligent. Sometimes we would go and whether it was me and my brother and him, and then me and my dad would go and hide behind a mausoleum when my brother wasn't looking, and then he'd be like, huh, and then he'd just freak out, but then they'd do the same shit to me. So you know what? It was all equal.
It's all fair and
all
fun.
Equal. Just scaring the shit out of your kids in a graveyard.
I can't wait to be a dad.
Making memories. When
you get your dad back on another episode. So I can be terrified of him talking about his murdering friend.
What's his name? Rhino or something.
And he can leave your shoes at your apartment for the next 3 years.
They're like, oh yeah, Rhino. Yeah, I think Rhino stabbed a guy, and you're like, what?
No, he's he definitely stabbed a guy.
I'm like, none of my friends have stabbed anybody. I don't think
yet.
Yeah, exactly. So, David. So he went to go check the graveyard, ferrets, friends, picnics, all fun. But he didn't go there, and instead he decided to skip the graveyard and go to the second spot. And the second spot was High Rock which is an overlook and hiking trail on the border of Pennsylvania and Maryland that Stevens had just recently asked for the coordinates from Moon. So he just texted Moon and said, like, hey, what's that place that you hike at or something like that? And he's like, oh, here. So he sent him the coordinates, and he's like, he might be there. So when Moon arrived at the base of the trail to High Rock, Moon saw his friend's car and another vehicle he didn't recognize, and he's like, oh, shit, he's here. So Moon said the key in the other car that was next to his, the automobile, was turned to the auxiliary position, and the car's lights were on and the radio was playing. And he also saw that Steven's cell phone was in the back seat of that car. And when he got to the front of the car, he noticed that the hood had been propped open and covered with some sort of like chemical or flammable agent, and Moon suspected that it was a bottle of motor oil that was on the roof. So he's like, okay, this is fucking weird. There's a car next to my buddy's car. It's unlocked, lights are on, radio's playing, phone's in the back, hood's popped, and there's like motor oil all over.
So he
everything.
recognized his friend's phone.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he like probably grabbed the phone and like looked at it and was like, oh shit, this is his phone. This is super weird.
Yeah.
So as Moon began up the trail in the rain using his cell phone as a flashlight, he began to get worried when after he spotted something about a mile up the trail. As he got closer to the top of the hill, he found melted candles and a backpack that felt greasy, filled with clothing. That just sounds like me after I eat Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Ooh, the Colonel.
You ever
The Colonel's
you ever-
home, people.
You ever get elbow deep in a bucket of KFC, and then afterwards you got to go change your clothes in the employee bathroom, and everyone's like, what are you doing in there? And I'm like, don't touch my greasy backpack. So very strange, because there was no KFC nearby.
Famous bowl.
Can you believe it? Can you believe it?
Famous bowl.
So,
You ever had a famous bowl?
what did you say? What's a famous bowl?
Oh, dude, the famous bowl's delicious.
What about the thing that was just like 2 pieces of chicken as the bread with bacon and cheese in the middle?
What did they call that? The heart attack?
It's called like the fuck your life or something.
No,
like
their
that.
famous bowl is just a big old trough of
Taters, taters, chicky.
it's taters,
gravy.
big old trough of mashed potatoes, and then a couple bits of popcorn chicken.
Okay.
About 4.5 cans of corn. three shavings of cheese, and then about 6 gallons of gravy on top of it. And god damn it, it's delicious.
They led with the corn. They always lead with the corn. You know what's the worst food in the world?
What?
Or the combination? When you get a TV dinner back in the day, like the kids' TV dinner with the
Yeah.
fucking penguin on
Yeah.
it, and the corn was next to the brownie, and the corn
The
water.
juice.
There's always corn water. That corn tastes like shit, and the brownie was bad, but it was really bad when all of a sudden the corn water got on the brownie, and you're just like, I'm still gonna eat the fucking brownie.
Yeah, you can't. That's your prize. That's what you deserve after eating that shit.
I deserve to be kind of less sad, but I'm still sad.
The brownie's probably the most
So-
healthy part of that whole meal.
Oh,
My
fuck.
brownie's glowing in the microwave.
Oh, you didn't put your glow stick topping on top. You know, when you snap a glow stick and have them pour it all over the food and it makes it taste
Love
better.
it. Makes my
that's what
mouth go
MSG
numb.
Is. That's what MSG is.
Glow
It's
sticks?
glow stick
Really?
fluid.
I
Nope.
didn't think so.
So the backpack was beside another motor oil container. So this guy's just like all motor oil all the time, sponsored by motor oil.
Oh yeah.
Then he brought it up the trail with him, and I'm guessing that's what maybe was on the greasy backpack. But also interesting enough, next to the backpack was a black cat inside a pet carrier.
Uh-oh.
You see, Alexander Stevens had recently adopted it from an animal shelter, and he also out there he also found the collar for the cat and a soaking wet towel laying on the rocks nearby.
Aren't you adopting a black cat this week?
I'm adopting a black cat tomorrow.
And your name is Alexander?
My last name isn't Stevens, and I don't like going by Alexander, and I don't even like necessarily hiking with motor oil that much.
Really?
A little bit.
You ever seen that?
Just a little.
Have you
bit.
seen that commercial for the motor oil that's been running lately, where there's like the miniature NASCAR guys on the shelf, and they're like, "Get this stuff," and then like one of the guys is just like so aggressively dancing the entire time, doesn't say a word. It is the.
I don't have cable.
It's got to be one of the weirdest fucking commercials I've ever seen. I don't understand it, and it's not funny.
I'm too busy trying to plan my hike tomorrow, so I can go put the black cat on top of the mountain. So I don't have time to watch your fucking TV. But also, I thought it was weird that he found a soaking wet towel laying. Oh, maybe because it was raining. That's why it was soaking
That could be
wet.
part of it.
That makes more sense. Yep, that makes sense. So inside the backpack were the clothes that Moon recognized as Steven's clothes. You know, in the greasy backpack, the greasy backpack bandit. And he found a bunch of clothes that were Steven's, but he also found some female undergarments he knew were not Steven's. Or maybe they were, but he didn't know about that part of Steven or Alexander.
That's usually how you find out.
So the greasy backpack
in the woods.
Hey, you go through my greasy backpack, grab my thong. So he knew Alexander Stevens was nearby, but didn't know where. He was also probably naked. So he climbed to an old fire tower nearby, but due to the fog and the rain, he was unable to make anything out. So he called for Stevens for a while before deciding to go back, taking the cat with him. And when he arrived home, it was 2 a.m. So he was out there probably pretty late looking for him, but he's like, I can't, like, it's too rainy, it's too dark, like, this is not going to, you know, it's more dangerous for me to be out here, so I'm going to come back tomorrow morning. So, but when he got home at 2 a.m., he received a call from officials to return to the site tomorrow at 7 a.m. to continue the search. So he did call it in, and they're like, okay, we're going to do, like, a search tomorrow at 7 a.m. So he, he was optimistic and everything. And like I said, Moon was optimistic about finding Stevens alive since he stated that Stevens... What the fuck did I write here? oh, sorry. I read that in like a weird cadence. Moon was optimistic about finding Stevens alive. He thought he was going to find him alive since he stated that Stevens loved animals, plants, and was vegan and very spiritual. I don't know why I wrote that. Why you
copied and pasted it?
And being... I did not. I actually wrote that, and I don't know why I wrote that. That doesn't make you... Like, if somebody's vegan and loves animals, it doesn't mean, like, I'm definitely going to find them alive. But
I'm trying to find a vegan that fucking just hates animals. Hates them so much they won't even eat their product. Everything about them just disgusts them.
I love that. I'm going to write that movie. I love it.
It's the next
won't
Joker.
Eat meat because he fucking hates them. Don't put him near me. Don't get him near me.
That's what made the Joker is he hates the animals.
So he even said he spoke to Stevens 2 days prior, and that he talked about getting his degree and writing music in the future. But officials state that at the time at 2 a.m. when he called it in, Moon was afraid that Stevens may have gone to High Rock to kill himself. So even though he said that, like, you know, he loved animals, plants, he was vegan, very spiritual, he had plans for the future, that was like all the reasons that he thought he was going to find him alive. But then he confessed to the cops also. He's like, I think he might have come here to kill himself.
Okay.
But he kind of like retracted that statement later, and he's like, no, he never talked about suicide. And then like they're like, oh, he kind of talked about suicide. But basically he was optimistic and pessimistic at the same time, I guess. I don't really know. Everybody's stories are flip-flopping in this because there's weird shit at stake.
All
so
guilty.
You'll find out. Exactly. So the next day, police searched the graveyard as well. You know, the first spot where he had ferret picnics with piss sandwiches. They searched the graveyard just to make sure they didn't miss anything. But when they got there, they did find something. At the graveyard, they found the Stevens family dog in a cage inside the graveyard, unharmed. See, Moon confessed that Stevens had been fighting with his parents in the past and also had a very bad temper, once smashing a guitar into a TV at their place, which is kind of like
awesome.
Me every single time I can't get through the fire and flames on Expert.
Yeah.
That TV's fucking broken, son.
I mean, God, someone should open a business where you can get like the faulty guitars and faulty TVs, and you can just wait in a line for 2 hours and just smash one of these shitty guitars into like this broken TV.
They do have those. They're called like smash rooms.
Yeah, I
like
don't care. I don't care about the fucking dollar store mugs. I want the TV And I want the guitar.
Well, they got like watermelons and cantaloupes, and I think they bring in like the big back TV. Here's the problem with the God
Sorry
bless
about
America.
that. Didn't take my
I think
allergy
they
medicine.
I think they sometimes bring in the big TVs. You know, the ones that like the big back with the big hard
Oh
glass.
yeah,
screen.
because those are all dying out.
And I've seen the bats literally ding off those glass screens.
Whoa.
And like hit people in the head. You ever seen that?
No, they're not a big league swinger like me though.
Okay. Well, we'll see how you feel when you steal your parents' dog and smash their TV
I
with your
hate that dog. I don't want
Stratocaster.
anything to do with that dog.
So Moon believed that possibly Stevens may have been hallucinating from LSD and cough syrup when he took the dog, but was not completely sure since he thought Stevens was off drugs at this time. This is what I'm talking
It's
about.
a good combination.
I feel like nobody wants to make a definitive statement. They're like, he might have been on drugs, but I think he was sober at the time. So everyone's just like very up in the air about everything. No one can figure anything out. It's just like a giant fucking puzzle.
That makes it really
And
easy for the police, the detectives.
They love it when everyone just changes their stories.
Yeah.
Which we will get more into. But yeah, so he brought it to the dog. He brought the dog to the graveyard, and he brought the cat to the mountain, which is like fucking crazy. And at 7:30 a.m. the next morning, police got a phone call from a cell phone from up on High Rock. The call came from Megan Schaefer, Stevens's ex-girlfriend, and the owner of the other car that was parked next to Stevens at the base of the trail. So that was her car that was on with the keys, with the motor oil, with the cell phone in the back. But they had broken up months prior. But they were still like friends and everything. Yeah. But apparently Schaefer had entered into an unoccupied cabin near the mountain and found a cell phone, which she used to contact the police. When the police arrived, they heard cries for help and found Schaefer naked, covered up in a blanket, lying on the couch in the cabin. Schaefer was injured badly too, showing signs of frostbite, a broken shoulder, and a possible broken back. So she was fucked up, and her clothes were in the greasy backpack. I mean, that's kind of confirmed since she's like naked in this random person's cabin. So when police asked what happened, Schaefer told them that she didn't remember much of the night before, but that she and Stevens had walked to the edge of High Rock drop-off, a vertical fall of 33 feet, when they disrobed and fell. She says she doesn't remember much of anything before the fall, but that neither her or Stevens were under the influence of drugs or alcohol. So they did do a toxicology report, and they came back that they were like clear of any drugs or alcohol, but then other people were like, certain hallucinogens and blah blah blah, like get out of your system in this amount of time, and like, you know, there's all these conspiracy theories involved with this story overall, which we'll get into later as well. But at they found her at 7:30 when she called in, and at 9:30 a.m. police helicopter spotted the body of Alexander Stevens on a logging road not far from Pine Swamp Road. When police arrived, they found Stevens undressed, lying face down, with a knife with a 7-inch blade lying near his head. When they turned him over, they found that his throat had been cut deeply, with more than one swipe.
No.
So now things are getting a little bit more interesting. They would also find out later in an autopsy that Stevens also had broken ribs and a punctured lung. To find out what happened that night, though, they could only ask one person, and that was their main suspect, Megan Schaefer. The only issue with her story was, though, that it changed 3 times. This is exactly what I'm talking about. So she does have like some excuses for why it changed 3 times, but she did preface like everything with, I don't remember too much of what happened the night before, which is an automatic red flag. And I'm not saying she's guilty or innocent yet, but it's an automatic red flag when you're like, hey, I know that you found me naked in this random person's cabin, but like don't question me on anything yet because I don't remember anything. Yeah. And you're like, oh, this gives them time to like construct the story and get everything figured out. Yeah. And like, you know what I mean? So originally it was said that they were on a hike and that Stevens fell from the cliff and died like upon falling. But it doesn't explain so many other details like the knife wound, the animals that were up on top of the, hill. Like on a hike, you just don't bring your cat in a crate. Yeah. And her injuries, like of, her broken shoulder and maybe broken back. So she also claims that she was in shock and that she was forced into giving a story in order to be released to see her family. But many people refute this as well, and people are like, no one forced you to like give a story and to say that like he fell and died. Like that doesn't explain anything, and you're saying that we were forcing you. But you know what? Honestly, that does happen as well. You know, a lot of cops are like, in order to get out of here tonight, you got to give us the truth. And like,
Yeah.
if you don't have a good story, you just tell them anything. Or like, I don't know if she's guilty or innocent, if she didn't actually remember, but there's so many factors at play here. So the story she's stuck with, that like after the third time, this was like her solidified story, which actually does kind of seem believable in a way, but it's very sketchy how things came to it. So the story was, the story she stuck with was that Stevens was actually suicidal. She claims that Stevens and her went to the top of the hill, and that's when he asked her to take off their clothes together. She believed him. I guess she trusted him, and she was like, oh, okay, that's kind of weird. Like, but I guess she didn't see it as maybe something that was suicidal, or maybe something that was more spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
She said then they walked over to the edge of the cliff, and that while standing there looking over the 33-foot drop, both of them fell down the embankment and became injured. They laid there for a few minutes in pain, like screaming, being like, ah, because they like broke stuff, you know, punctured lungs, broke ribs, broke shoulders. And then he told her to get up because they were going to go get help. So he asked her to hold the knife that he had. He had a knife in his hand too that he brought, which is like another completely like red flag, unless like you tell her maybe it's something spiritual, like, oh, I cut my hand and put it in the dirt and now I'm one with nature or something like that. But when you get naked and bring a knife to an edge of a cliff, like it's bad news bears.
Yeah.
So he got up and he's like, we're going to get walking. My ribs hurt. So you're going to hold this knife because I just need to like, you know, I guess have both my hands.
He's
So
running
then
like an ape.
He runs on all fours.
He's throwing leaves up in the air, running like an ape.
Oh, knife. Anyway, so then they then walked a little bit further before they reached a stream, which is where he told her that he loved her. And then he asked her for the knife, which she gave to him because she didn't actually think he was going to do anything. And she says that next that he took the knife from her and then he slit his throat twice. Once was a small slit, and then he did it again, but much deeper. And then he proceeded to fall into the stream and bleed to death. Which was the story that she's stuck with. You know,
Okay.
That's what she told. They have like audio of her saying it and stuff like that. So she believes that Alexander Stevens was suicidal and that all of this was a part of a suicide ritual, but that she was not aware of it at the time and just played along because she trusted him, which would make sense with like, I brought the dog to the graveyard, I brought the cat to the top of the mountain, I lit candles, I got naked, I did this, I had a knife, I went to this cliff. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of different factors at play here that you're like, oh, somebody who is spiritual or spiritual suicidal, who knows? Like, there's something going on there where it was almost like a ritual. You know what I mean? So it was very weird. So she also claims that she was not suicidal herself or a part of some kind of pact in any way, shape, or form. So she said she was not informed, but many people speculate that as well and said maybe you were, you know, going with him and then you got cold feet and you didn't want to and, you know, blah, blah, blah. So although she states that it was in fact a suicide, many people argue that it was indeed a murder for many reasons, some strong, some speculation, or some wild imagination. And here some of the things that explain like some of the phenomena that kind of, you know, happened. Like to explain the broken ribs and the punctured lung, many believe that Megan, this is fucking crazy. Many believe that Megan may have karate kicked him off the cliff in the first place.
Hell yeah.
Because I guess she took karate classes and they were going up there to like burn things that they wanted to like purge or something like that, and then she had a karate uniform that she wanted to burn because she didn't like what it represented. Like she did karate when she was younger, and she said she like turned her back on it. She's like, I don't like what it represents, maybe like violence or something.
Okay.
So she went up there, and I guess she knew how to do karate. So maybe people go, oh, you karate kicked him off the ledge, and you broke his ribs and punctured a lung.
That is such an
Like,
insane accusation.
I know, right? It's crazy. And then like maybe like after she kicked him down, like maybe he started to run and she chased him and like killed him. Like people think that too. But next, then this is one of the things that really was like, oh, okay, that's kind of interesting. There might be an explanation. But next is the slit throat, because the throat was cut. The throat was apparently cut so hard and deep that it could not have been self-inflicted. Some medical examiners say. They also say that the coroner stated that it looked as if the knife had gone across the neck about 7 times.
Okay.
Also, apparently, the cuts were so severe and deep that he was almost decapitated, they said.
Well, one thing that stands out to me about that is 7 is it's much bigger than 2. If I'm doing the math right.
You said you're a man of math.
Yeah.
Last, remember?
I mean,
You
my
knew what
math has been on
hypotenuse was.
point lately, and unless my calculations are incorrect, which I know they're not, 7 is a significantly bigger number than 2.
What's significant? 5?
Well, the shape of the 7 says it all. Because it's like a 2, but the 2
I'm on
keeps
FaceTime
going.
with David, and he just drew a 7 backwards.
Well, it's 7. It's right on my side, motherfucker.
Oh, it's 7 forwards for you. It's flipped. Okay, I was just about to say, damn, dude, you're losing it.
No, I'm big on math lately.
Okay. Well, are you big on crime scenes? Because we got one to figure out right here. But you're right. 7 is more than 2.
It is.
Which would be like,
I'm glad you
that's
agree.
weird. And his head's almost like, that's crazy to think like. I
Yeah.
don't, like, what do they say where like they go like you can't? There's like a thing where you go like you can't tickle yourself, but like you can't punch yourself in the face, or like your body has
Can't give yourself a massage.
That may be a thing, but they also said like you can't like punch yourself, like you can't knock yourself out because your body stops yourself from doing it or something like that.
Huh.
It's something weird like that. I don't know.
I'm gonna have to test that
Hey,
one.
hey, everybody at home! Why don't you go grab your nearest hand, your nearest infinity gauntlet that you bought from Walmart? You know,
Oh, yeah.
the big Thanos hand.
Oh, yeah.
Just go just go wind up your shoulder. You know, give it a little cartoon, like when somebody's gonna uppercut somebody, and just whack yourself right in the chin. See if you could do it. Prove us wrong.
Do
Prove
it.
us wrong.
Film it.
So people also stated that Stevens was not suicidal at all, while others claimed he talked about it time to time, and when he was like on drugs and alcohol, and then others claimed he was very suicidal and he talked about it all the time. So everybody had a different opinion. Like his family was like, no, not at all. The girl was like, yes, and then like his friend was like, sometimes. You know what I mean? It's kind of like whatever narrative you want to be correct is the one that you're gonna back,
Yeah.
which is very, very, very common in a lot of these situations where you don't know what's going on. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of high emotions, a lot of you show yourself in a certain light to certain people and a certain light to other people. Like you wouldn't go talk to your parents about suicidal. I mean, I hope you would.
Yeah. Hopefully.
But like most
a good
people
idea.
go and but most people go and talk to like maybe like friends or like somebody around their own age where they're not going to feel like persecuted by like their like parents sometimes overreact, and obviously that is a thing that you should overreact at, and you go, oh no, like you shouldn't do that, but
Yeah.
you just have different connections with different people, so the parents might not have seen that side of him as much, but no one, when it comes down to it, no one can really explain the dog crate at the cemetery or the black cat up on the mountain besides it being a possible ritual of some sort,
Yeah.
right?
I remember
Or the
in my
candles.
hometown there was a weird thing for a while where people are like kidnapping people's like cats and dogs and fucking killing them.
Oh really? Like a
Yeah.
satanic thing going on?
Yeah, my mom said that one time she saw a bunch of people trying to take our dog from our backyard, and she like saw them and they like scattered.
What the fuck? Are you serious?
Yeah. The place where I grew up, we built our house at the end of a road. We had to build the road and stuff, and I guess like that area before we moved up there was like a very strange area for youth to go. They go party and stuff, and then they would also, I guess, go kill animals.
Oh my god. Deep in the woods.
Yeah.
Jesus. So, there are also many theories or motives, if it was in fact a murder, actually, Sorry, I keep burping.
Lovely.
Stevens.
Thanks for sharing.
I just didn't want people to think that
That's
I'm,
what gets the listeners coming back every week.
So, Stevens had a dicey past after being released from the Coast Guard after he apparently drunkenly snuck into a bunk and placed his hand on a woman's thigh in the middle of the night.
Okay.
And he claimed he believed it was his girlfriend's bed and that he was in fact drunk. We don't even know, like that's a whole nother story where you like dissect like, is this real? Is this fake? Is he a creep? Was he drunk? Was it like, is that even excusable if he was? You know what I mean? Like if you did it, you did it, that type of thing. But this made many people believe that he may have forced himself on Megan, causing her to have to kill him possibly.
Okay.
We don't know because she was naked. She backs him up and says there was nothing sexual involved. He didn't ask for any kind of sex. He didn't ask for any kind of sexual favors. It wasn't romantic. It wasn't anything like that. It was more like, it seemed like it was more part of like a ritual or something like that,
Yeah.
So that's one of the theories people believe. But he was kicked out of the Navy after that. I don't know if I told you that, but he was released from the Coast Guard.
Yeah.
After that. So that's another thing where people said after he was released for that, his mood began to change drastically too.
Okay.
Where it became like more into drugs, LSD, all this like psychedelics, and became very spiritual and stuff. So another theory behind the murder, and I think this is the most interesting. I feel like this could be like the most evidence towards her murdering him, but also a whole nother piece of evidence in him being like, I don't like the material world, I'm passing it along. Because another theory behind the murder was that 1 week before his death, Stevens authorized a wire transaction and closed a Stifel Nicholas investment account. The funds, $188,000 were transferred to financial services firm Edward Jones, with Megan Schaefer listed as beneficiary of the new account upon his death. And that was 1 week before he died, which is a whole thing where that could have been like her manipulating him into being like, I should be your beneficiary. And then she kind of did the thing where like, oh, I'm going to bring you up here and kill you.
Yeah.
Or it could have been, I'm planning on killing myself. I'm going to leave you this money. Can you help me with this ritual? Because a lot of people argue that like if she was going to murder him, she would have went to a way higher peak instead of a 33-foot drop.
Yeah.
And then maybe like pushed him off there, which is a valid point. But there's so many like different cards at play here that it's hard to know who to trust and who not to trust. But I mean, the courts made their decision because as of July 25th, 2018, Megan Schaefer, who's 21, was charged with second-degree murder, manslaughter, and assisting another to commit or attempt to commit suicide, and she received 30 years for that.
Ouch.
Which is not. And there's a whole different argument about like these weird charges because you go second degree to murder and then assisting somebody with suicide. Those are mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
Where one is, the person didn't want to die, and the other one is like you helped them die.
Yeah.
So it's a really big toss-up, and people are like, how can you even pin those together on the same sentence? And then a lot of people were saying that she had a botched, lawyer, like, or whatever, like, botched case or something like that, and it's just like all over the place. And I think they're planning on like, trying to overturn it and everything like that, and it's so convoluted and it's still going on. So that's like the most like the hardest thing to find information about this story. It took me so long to find out what her actual story was, like what she told the police, because I just couldn't find it anywhere because it's all so like tentative and
some real investigative work there.
Yeah, and no, I mean hardly, but it's still like a very like it's very open still. Things could change if they find new evidence and whatnot, but it's just so interesting because I don't know which way I'm actually leaning now. I kind of believe that it was a suicide.
Yeah.
That was maybe gone. There's like a part of me that thought like maybe he jumped off the cliff and like maybe they jumped off together and then she had a change of heart, but he was hurt so badly that she maybe had mercy on him, or he was like, just do it, just kill me. You know what I mean? Like there's so many things that you don't know, only she does, and she was there. So it's like, I don't know. It's so up in the air. Where do you like land on this though?
Well, I mean, part of it, it's like, it does seem like it was a suicide, but also like her whole thing of like not really remembering things and kind of flip-flopping makes her seem guilty to me.
So exactly, because I think half the story is true, where I think that he was suicidal. He did want to kill himself to a certain point, possibly. But then the thing that really doesn't make sense is the knife cuts.
Yeah.
Where if it was that deep, I think possibly he was like, I can't do this. I need you to do this for me. And then she just kept going to make sure that he was like not in pain and like do it really quick. And she just like cut him and kept cutting him and stuff like that. She would be liable for murdering somebody, but she can't tell them, okay, well, like this part is true, but I did slit his throat.
Yeah.
She just has to be like, I never did that. I never slit his throat. He slit his own throat, and I was just there along and like watching him, and I couldn't stop him. And she might be lying about parts and telling the truth about other parts.
His toxicology came back with nothing on it.
Both of theirs, nothing on him. But then people said like some psychedelics are like run out of your system in a certain amount of time, and
I mean,
some people said,
if you're on the right drug, I feel like you could damn near cut your own head off.
But that's like a whole nother thing, like we were talking about, where it's like maybe if you're on like PCP or something, but does your body like shut down past like a certain point? Like I just don't. Obviously, I don't think anybody's like done that research where they said give this guy PCP and see if he could cut through his whole head. Like, that's fucking crazy. I don't think we'll ever know that. But it is a good question where it's like if he was on something, maybe he was able to do that to himself.
Whenever I think of PCP, I always think of this cop that told me a story of. They were chasing a guy through the woods once, and when they finally caught him, they realized he was on PCP and his leg had broken halfway through his shin, so his like foot was flapping around, and he was running through the woods on like basically a nub.
Oh.
So that story alone
God.
always makes me think of like what could you do on PCP?
Oh my God. I didn't know what story was worse, mine that I just told about the decapitation or just like picturing that guy flailing through. You know what I thought you were going to tell me? I thought you were going to tell me when they finally caught him, he had run like body first into like a long branch and he was like impaled on a branch and like didn't even know it. And he was like still trying to get off or something.
Ran through some barbed wire.
Yeah, I did. Oh, I mean, yours was worse, so I don't even know why. That's fucking horrible. Oh my fucking God. People always say, like, break through handcuffs, lift a car, blah, 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 break your wrists and stuff. But Jesus Christ.
Run on
anyway, that's
2/3 of a leg.
That's my story. That's my story. So I don't know where you guys stand on it. If you guys want more research, you can, look it up. And there's a lot more details and stuff. And I don't know. It's a very interesting case that I feel like, I think it's one of those cases that we'll never have enough information. There's always going to be a question mark involved.
Yeah, until the truth comes out.
Exactly. Until somebody's on their deathbed. People should confess more on their deathbeds.
Yeah, there haven't been enough good ones, I feel like.
I know. They caught Golden State guy, and they caught that other guy who's like, I killed the most people in America. And then you're like, are you a liar, though?
Yeah. Sometimes you can't take it
That's
too
some Henry
seriously.
Lee Lucas shit, where you're like, oh, he's just lying because he wants to be famous because he didn't amount to anything.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, it was a documentary called The Confession Killer. Check it out. It's on Netflix. It's really good. It's about a dumb guy who confessed to a lot of murders, and they don't even know if he actually did them or not. But he confessed to, like, over 300, and they're like, we don't even know if he did one.
Yeah.
But, like...
this guy's in here for tax fraud.
Yeah, you guys got to check it out. Just check out the documentary. It's really good. The cops were like basically saying like, we'll buy you strawberry milkshakes for each murder you confess to. And he just started confessing to a shit ton of murders. He's like, one day I got 16 strawberry milkshakes. I was like, holy
They
shit.
all melted, man.
Oh, no, he's fast as strawberry. See, if you get them warm, you could guzzle them down quicker.
That's
no brain
true,
freeze.
that's true.
But he didn't have a brain.
Oh.
No brain. One tooth, no brain. Anyway, so check it out.
All right.
The Confession Killer.
Now, Tobin, it's been a while since we talked about a good old haunting, right?
Yeah.
So today, I'm going to talk about a place that is considered to be one of the most haunted places on Earth. And this place is named Houska Castle.
Ooh.
So I'm glad you said medieval because I feel like this story is way more medieval than yours. How did medieval play into your story?
I didn't. You told me that your one word for the story was castle, so I led with medieval for your sake. Because mine was, I could have gone with what adjective? Fucking suicidal, which would have been a horrible lead-in.
It's a bad one. Cat cage.
Cat cage. I love that adjective.
Yeah, that's a good one. What are adjectives again? So
they're like numbers but different.
Okay, yeah, that's where I get confused. If it's not numbers, I don't get it. So, Houska Castle is a early Gothic castle. Ooh, already spooky. See, this one personally makes me mad because I just found out in my research that this castle is 29 miles north of Prague in the Czech Republic, where I lived for 7 months.
Ooh, that's right.
And I didn't know this existed, or else I probably would have gone out and seen it. I definitely would have seen it. Now, knowing what I know now, which kind of makes me upset, but I do plan on going back one day because I absolutely love that city.
I've never been to Europe. Let me come.
Hey, you know what?
Invite me to Europe. That's the only way I could go if you invite me.
Bachelor party.
Oh, fuck, seriously?
So, Houska Castle is famous for more than its spookiness, as it is one of the best and well-preserved castles from the Gothic time period. So the castle is known for its notable features like its Gothic chapel, green chamber with late Gothic paintings, and a knight's drawing room.
What?
What is a knight's drawing room, you ask? Well, I want to know too, because I Googled it and I could not find anything that said what the fuck a knight's drawing room was. So I'm going to assume it's like a common room for knights where they would like plan for battle, or like a locker room kind of thing.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
That's just my guess.
Or they colored pictures.
Yeah, they colored pictures.
See, the trick is...
I drew a cow. I drew the duck green because I've never seen a green duck before. Oh, no, I drew the duck blue. I drew the duck blue because I've never seen a blue duck before.
No, it is green. Oh, no, Miss Lily's
That's
car
quacktastic.
is green.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lily likes
a mallard duck.
Drink
The typical
milk.
duck is green.
What about you, Jenna? Do you want some of this milk?
No milk will ever be our milk.
I'd rather have a beer.
Oh, yeah.
Quote this whole fucking movie.
No, hey, Sideburns, you want some of this milk? So, aside from its normal castle features, this castle has one very interesting aspect to it that makes it a notable story for the Stupid Podcast. And that is the gateway to hell.
Oh, fuck. I've heard about that, but I don't know what it is.
Well, so there are multiple.
There's one in America.
This is just one of them. Yeah, probably.
Okay. That was like one of the states, like one big thing, gateway to hell. But I don't know about the Pragian. What is it? Czechian? Chechenian?
The Czech.
Mate.
Yes. Maybe next week I'll do an episode if I can find more. If there's a bunch of them, I'll do that.
All the gates.
So it is believed by deep-rooted folklore that this castle was made to block in one of the many gates of hells on Earth to prevent demons from reaching our world.
Oh, we like to call them night husbands and wives. What do they call them? Night husbands? What's the ones that give you infertility that doctor lady says comes in the middle of the night, steals your sperms?
Oh, yeah.
What are they called?
Sea slug.
Leprechauns?
Yeah. So the Czech castle was originally constructed in the 13th century between 1253 and 1278. Things just took longer before Amazon and Uber and IHOP.
I feel like those aren't even real dates. Like nothing was around then.
Yeah, 1253. Like what? No way.
There's just
we just got grass for the first time.
Yeah, there's just like a big grassy field with a man standing in the middle, and he's like, "Is this history yet?
Am I doing anything?
Is this notable?"
So yeah, the castle was built during the reign of Ottokar II of Bohemia.
Whoa, cool name.
Yeah, it's a good one, Ottokar. So at first glance, I'm sorry.
Autocorrect. Sometimes I use Microsoft Word.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought you were making like a car reference.
No. I'm a literature man.
That's
I'm not
true.
a car man. I'm not a gearhead, okay? I'm a letterhead.
Yeah. Not gearhead.
I write
I'm
letterheads.
a gearhead.
And I'm a letterhead. Sorry,
Nothing makes
continue.
me happier than cracking a Bud Light and just bashing my motor with a wrench in my garage.
Pouring motor oil all over the hood of my car and on my greasy backpack.
All over my chest. So, at first glance, the castle seems pretty normal, nothing too strange, but the closer you look, the more bizarre it gets. One of the first thing people typically notice is the castle windows are actually fake.
Are they made out of cake?
No, they're not made of cake. They are made of like window material, but as you get close up and personal with it, you realize that the other side of the window is just the stone from the castle wall.
Yo, that is such lazy craftsmanship. They built the castle and forgot to put the windows in.
I think it's for a reason. So it seems strange, but when you look more into the castle, you'll notice that it has no fortifications whatsoever. You know, for the most part, castles were built for war to protect the ones inside using various types of protection, but this one doesn't have any of that, and that might be because this castle is more interested in protecting what's on the outside of the walls from what's within.
Oh, we're talking
we'll-
like a little bit of the Glams monster. Remember the Glams monster back in the day in Scotland? The little frog.
Not really.
Remember the frog man that lived like in the hidden walls? He's like all inbred
yeah.
and shit.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's
Froggy Boy.
Yeah, Frog Boy.
What a fucking freak. He's dead. We can joke about
Yeah,
it.
he's dead. He made history.
I hope
guys.
he's dead. I hope he's dead. So
Not dead.
the castle also oddly doesn't have any water source, no kitchen, and for the most part, no occupants. Like no one actually like full time lived there.
Okay, that is a shitty. Like the architects are bad, right?
Not entirely.
We gave you
They'll-
16 bathrooms and no kitchen. You're like, ugh. I guess that's
The
okay.
bathrooms don't work.
They
There's
flush.
no running water.
They flush upward. You're like, what? You hit the
You get
hand.
to see your shit rise.
It's a volcano, really.
So this makes a simple case saying that this castle was not built as a protective sanctuary for the residents or people to live in.
Oh, okay. More like a prison.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So the next strange fact is something you'd probably notice before arriving to your destination, and that is that the location of the castle, it's placed in a remote area surrounded by thick forests, swamps, and sandstone mountains. And the location of the Houska Castle provides zero strategic value in war, and it's not like situated near any of like the old trading routes of like the traders of the 13th century. So like it wasn't close to like a Best Buy or anything.
How am I going to get my Roku soundbar?
Exactly.
I need my fucking Roku soundbar.
It's gonna take you at least 3 days to get that Roku soundbar.
I'm gonna have
Soundbar.
to turn up
Sandbar.
It's not a sandbar. I do not have a
But
sandbar
that is a thing.
in my home. Yeah, it's a thing in the ocean. But there's a Roku soundbar in the ocean somewhere, or somebody fucking threw it overboard.
I wouldn't
God,
doubt
I
it.
hope that's why I'm taking scuba lessons to go find my soundbar.
If there's not, can we get into the Guinness World Record for that? For person to throw the most Roku soundbars into the ocean?
I never said this on the podcast, but when I was younger,
Oh.
we took a cruise to Mexico, and me and my cousins took all the putters and the ping pong paddles, and we threw them overboard into the ocean. I am not proud of it.
Did you get caught?
Nope. And we did it multiple days.
I've got a good one for you. When I was like 5, we were visiting a family friend. I believe we were in Yellowstone, and we were in a gift shop, and they had this huge tub of fucking bear spray. And there's a kid that I was hanging out with who was probably like 9, a little bit older than me, like not a good
Influence.
not a good influence. And he was like, "Oh, I dare you to spray that bear spray in here." And I didn't know what it was.
No.
I thought I didn't know what the fuck it was, so I pulled the pin on the thing. I started spraying it in the store, and it got like jammed, and it just kept going, and they had to like evacuate the store, and it was this huge thing.
You're lucky you're fucking 5.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
6, you're fucking done. You're in prison.
I would have made
5, you're good.
I would have made you go back in and finish what you started. I'm like, no, you're gonna go finish that can of bear spray. You're gonna face.
You're gonna sit there and you're gonna take
You're
it.
gonna face that whole can of bear mace right now, David. 5-year-old David,
Yeah.
go in there.
Go in there. So back to the story. So there's no real reason for anyone to put this seemingly worthless castle in the middle of nowhere unless there was one particular feature that it was needed to be there for. According to Czech folklore, the Houska Castle was constructed over a massive hole in the ground, which was known as the gateway to hell.
Oh my god, I totally forgot we were fucking talking about that. That's
Yeah.
I was like, what is like so weird about that castle? And then you
Yeah.
oh fuck, that's crazy.
So it was told that the hole was so deep that no one could ever see the bottom of it.
Hey yo,
Kind of creepy.
we all know that one, lady, right?
And legend, just gonna keep going. And legend has it that a half animal, half human creature used to crawl out from the hole at sundown to roam the lands at night.
Howie Mandel.
It was seen, huh?
Howie Mandel.
It was Howie Mandel.
I'm not sure.
So-
I'm not sure what he is completely yet.
Yeah, wasn't he in that one weird little monster movie?
He was with Fred Savage. He played the little monster.
I heard he played both roles. I heard he was actually Fred Savage the whole time.
Oh fuck.
So it was seen that these black-winged creatures would attack the local people and drag them back down into the huge hole before sunrise to never be seen again.
Oh.
Yeah.
Some fates are worse than death.
Yeah. So the seemingly worthless structure of stone had one purpose, and that was to keep the evil within. So this location of the castle was significantly chosen to cover the mysterious hole from which the demonic monsters would come slinking out every night.
Damn, that's me after eating some Taco Bell, baby. I gotta
Yeah?
cover the demonic hole where all the creatures are coming out of. Ooh, wow.
Especially, you gotta do that before you finish that last taco. Are you down with the sickness right now?
I'm very down with the sickness.
Oh, Katie, you done with that wrapper? I need it.
Give me. Ooh, I don't care if there's extra little bits of meat and cheese in there. I need to wipe.
I just gotta stuff it up there. So
The devil's coming out, honey. The devil's coming out.
So the castle chapel was specifically built directly over the bottomless pit in order to seal the evil within and keep the creatures from entering our world. But even today, over 700 years later, the pit was sealed, and visitors to the hole can still hear the scratching of the creatures from the hole at night.
Oh fuck.
And others claim to hear choruses of screamings coming from the hole as well.
Yo, I gotta get me a
Yeah.
jackhammer and a ticket to Chechnya. Where is it? Prague or Chechnya?
Chechnya?
Where is
yeah,
it?
Chechnya sounds great. Isn't Chechnya like a region in Russia?
Dude, you are asking the wrong fucking guy. I can't name you like 3 countries that border Russia.
Yeah.
Like
China.
you win again, Mongolia. I don't know. I meant like all those tiny little that end in like Kazakhstan,
Kazakhstan?
and Uzbekistan, and all those ones.
So when the castle was constructed, it was said that the village's prisoners who had been sentenced Jesus, to death. I'm just so scared reading it. Sentenced to death were offered pardons if they agreed to be lowered into the bottomless pit by rope and then report back what they saw when they returned to the surface.
What a fucking stupid pardon. He was like, "Hey, can we lower you into this pit and you'll be pardoned?" Like, "Oh yeah, I think I'd be down to do that instead of die." And somebody's like, "Oh, did we mention it's bottomless?" And you're like, "Oh."
And there's winged monsters with claws that eat people.
I'm like, the only bottomless I want are mimosas.
Yeah,
And then-
party up.
And then when I'm hanging halfway down the bottomless pit, they just cut the rope and they go, "Yeah, it's okay. We wanted to kill him anyway." You know what I mean? Like, there's no reaching an end. How do you get lowered into a bottomless pit? You just you're.
Science.
I guess you're
We're
right.
meant to science. I'd sign up for it. So the first man who agreed to the terms was tied up and lowered into the hole. And a few seconds later, after his body disappeared into the dark, the man started to scream in pure insanity and horror, begging to be pulled back up.
Was it something?
When the prison...
Sorry.
What?
Was it something like, ooh, ah, ah, ah?
No, I think it was like, holy fucking shit, get me out of this fucking thing.
My eyes and my balls,
Yeah.
my ass and my nose.
It's all gone.
They're braiding my hair. Ah.
So when the prisoner, who was a healthy young man, was pulled back up after being in the hole for a matter of seconds, he returned looking as if he had aged 30 or more years. His hair, which was once full of color, had turned ghost white and had grown incredibly wrinkled with age.
Ooh. That's That's Captain America, baby.
It is Captain America.
He's like, he's like, tell us what it was like down there. He's like, I don't think I will.
That was a part of the plan.
Damn. What a
I don't
good
think I will.
Endgame reference.
Don't spoil it.
Oh, sorry.
If you haven't seen it yet, you deserve that. Spoiled. So, still screaming as the men pulled the young man up, he was so disturbed by what he saw in the darkness that he was sent to an insane asylum where he died 2 days later from an unknown cause.
You know what's fucking crazy? It's crazy that he died 2 days later just from being so fucking scared and insane. But it's also crazy that, like, back in 1310, they had
Rope?
No, they had better systems for people with mental disabilities than we do now.
I don't think any mental,
Okay, well,
quote unquote, insane asylum was ever a good place to ever be.
Okay,
That was.
okay.
I don't think there's ever a good one.
okay, well, at least they still have
Some
them.
of those documentaries you see on those fucking places
Fair.
will make you rethink everything as a human being.
No, you're right, but at least they had them, right? Like, I think they don't have any kind of thing like that now. You know, now they just kick them out.
Well,
to
they're
the
all
street.
defunded because they were just
I think it was
they were
Reagan.
so poorly like done.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the loudest and the worst ones get them. There's probably some good ones out there, right?
I'd hope so.
Probably had to pay top dollar though. Let's not kid ourselves.
Yeah. So it was also known that the German SS took the Houska Castle during the Nazi occupation of Czechoslovakia
Oh,
from 1939 until 1945. So 6 years
Whoa.
the Nazis were in this castle.
And we,
But
I was gonna say,
What?
and we know like the one thing about the Nazis were like Hitler loved the occult. You know what I mean?
I'll get into it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. So it is not, however, known exactly what the Nazis were doing there. In typical Nazi fashion, they destroyed all records and evidence of their activities when the German forces retreated from Bohemia in the face of advancing Russian and American armies.
Fucking cowards. Why are they keeping all their
Yeah.
hell secrets? Let everybody know about the bottomless pit.
I mean, as much as I mean, obviously it's like, oh, I hate the Nazis. It's like, obviously everybody fucking hates the Nazis except for the bronies. But
David, we're gonna start a war that's gonna turn out worse than World War II if we start with the bronies right now. I'm not picking a beef with them yet, okay? Yet. Till our numbers are up.
yeah, okay.
Those
But all I was
Nazi
trying to say
bronies.
was, like, trust me, I hate Nazis, but man, it's a kind of like they did so much terrible shit in the name of like science and then like destroyed all that research. Like, I'd be so interested to see like what type of crazy shit they actually did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
It's like, yeah.
obviously all of it was just so awful. They did horrible things to people, but it's also just kind of like it just makes me wonder like what weird occult shit they try to do.
Exactly. That's like somebody being like, "Oh, I burned down a firework house with like 100 people in it," and you're
Where the fuck are you going with this?
I'm just trying to say, like, that's like if somebody burned down something, like somebody lit Notre Dame on fire. Is that too close to home? Somebody lit Notre Dame on fire and didn't film it, or they did film it, and then somebody's like, "Well, I kind of want to see it," and then it's like, "Oh, I threw the tape away," and you're like, "You fucking asshole! You burnt it down, but at least I could have watched it in the video, right?"
I don't like this analogy.
I don't know what I'm talking about. Am I canceled? Fuck. I burned down a church. I burned down churches, David, and I just supported Nazis. Fuck. Fuck, David, fuck.
Next week, it's just me pretending to be you.
I'm like, well, Alex just got lowered into the fucking seventh circle of hell. Oh, shit. I did it to myself.
Yeah. So as we spoke of before, this castle had 0 strategic advantages.
What are you saying, strategic?
Yeah.
I thought you were saying it weird.
No.
Oh, sorry.
And so yeah, it had no advantages for like war. So like, why did the Nazis come to such a cursed place and stay for so long? Given the facts of the occult philosophies of Heinrich Hummers of the SS, and with the knowledge of Hitler's obsession of channeling significant resources, of researching and the discovery of supernatural weapons to use against the Allies, it's not ridiculous to think that Hitler and his army heard of this legendary gateway to hell and wanted to do some research of their own to find what evil was hiding, so they could try to harness it or some shit.
Yeah.
Get some demon Nazi soldiers.
They're always looking for some fucking old books with some big ass stars on them and shit like that to like summon some kind of demon.
Yeah, it always makes you think of the graphic novel comic book series Hellboy.
Oh.
You ever read those?
No, I haven't read the comics.
Oh, fucking love those comics.
No.
Because I mean, the reason why Hellboy's here is because the Nazis were doing some weird occult shit and they pulled him up from hell.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yep. So it was also, it has also been proposed that the Houska Castle was one of the Nazis' secret breeding farms. I don't know if you know about those.
What the fuck?
But it was a location where young women of acceptable blood were used for breeding with the top SS troopers in the ongoing effort to breed what the Nazis saw as the master race to build their army.
Oh, those fucking pieces of shit.
Yeah. And when I say breeding, that's just a nice way of saying raping. But as usual, the fucking Nazis ruined this for everybody because to this day, the Nazis' presence has halted any ideas of excavating inside of the castle to research the hull for fear of detonations and discoveries of German explosives they could have been keeping in the castle.
No way. I didn't even fucking think about that.
Yeah, so and like to this day, like they haven't opened it up or anything. They haven't tried to look inside.
Ah, shit.
Which is like, fuck, man, just fucking throw a drone down there.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I remember when we talked about the Glams one, they have like some kind of technology now where they can just like shoot sonar down there. And I don't know how thick these castles' floors and walls are, but I think they might be able to get some images of. I know it's still like a really risky move and stuff like that. So, but I'm still like very interested. But a lot of people just don't want to waste the money if there's like, oh, what are we going to open? Oh yeah, a hole to hell. Like, I think we could not fund that right now. Kids need shoes.
Yeah.
Are you gonna buy my kids shoes?
I need some new crayons for second grade. God damn it, stop drilling into demon holes.
No, I know you guys want to build this children's hospital. That's great and everything. But I got a hellhole over here that needs digging.
Literal.
I hear those demons clawing, and it sounds like they need some fucking manicures, okay?
So, for the ones brave enough to travel to this castle at night, the scratching of the winged monsters trying to force their way back into our world isn't the only thing that will send chills down your spine, as phantoms have been seen walking the halls late at night.
Now, David, is a phantom a ghost or a different kind of ghost?
That's a question I don't want to answer.
I know, like, they got, like...
Is it a malevolent?
Malevolent. Great movie.
Should we Google it?
Angelina Jolie. No, I'm thinking of like banshees. Like banshees scream. I know they cry and they wail and they're big tantrum throwers. But like I don't know what the difference.
I got your answer.
Oh, what's a phantom?
A phantom is a type of ghost that most closely resembles the living.
Oh,
Most often they are not even suspected of being a ghost until they do something eerie like float through a wall.
Oh shit, like Danny Phantom.
There you go. I think.
Well, that's so they're not as spooky. They're like you're having like a normal conversation. The guy's like, I gotta go take a shit, and then just like falls through the floor, and you're like, that guy, what toilet did he just shit in? Where is he going?
I gotta go sharpen my sword. Oh, that's cool. You got swords?
He's like, I gotta go shit,
fuck.
and he walks through the wall, and then I'm like, whoa, wait a second. My room's on the other side of that wall. There's no fucking toilet in there. I'm not concerned that he's a phantom. I'm afraid that there's gonna be a ghost fucking shit on my pillow now. Okay? Okay.
So let's get back to the story.
No.
So not only have there been phantoms, there's even been UFO sightings in the area.
Oh, they know where all the hell
And,
spots are.
Yeah. But there's something else present besides, monsters, ghosts, and possible Nazi ghosts that lurk in the castle. And that is that a large number of reports from visitors reveal that after visiting this unholy land, they started to experience a flurry of extreme bad luck when they left the property.
Damn, the only flurry I want is a McFlurry.
I remember when those first came out, and you got that big old thick spoon that they plug into that blender, and you're just like, oh,
I always thought the middle.
can I drink from
I always
this?
thought
And you
the,
can't.
I always thought the middle of the spoon was a straw, and then I realized that is literally an attachment that they use to stir the M&Ms in.
That's what I just said. Can you drink from it?
I
No.
know. Are you a mini
Unless you
M&M
got a
guy,
drill.
or are you like an Oreo guy, or what?
It's probably been 20 years since I've had a McFlurry, but I feel like I always went with the Butterfingers.
Oh, I forgot about those. Yeah, you're right. Those are
Yeah.
fucking good.
That was
I mean,
good.
all the
They
flavors
still
are
do
good.
that?
Now we just have to make the ice cream machine work.
I know.
Fucking
One battle at a time.
yeah, let's start
One battle
another
at a time.
conspiracy. We got a conspiracy going. So wait, what was going on with the McFlurries at the castle? Not enough for everyone?
So some people say that they felt an irresistible aversion to entering the building at the first place. Like once they saw it, they're like, I don't want to fucking go in there,
Makes
kind of
sense,
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one of these visitors was a woman named Hannah McGee, who is the owner and operator of McGee's Ghost Tours in the great city of Prague. When her and her co-founder, Tyler McGee, her husband, made their first visit to the castle, they brought their dog, Bobo.
Oh, Bobo.
Yeah, that's always a good idea. So Hannah said she felt an extreme uneasiness when she first came to the courtyard, but she wasn't the only one. And you know why you bring a dog to a haunted place, right?
Never bring a dong. Oh my fucking god.
Oh my god.
God, I'm so fucking
Come on,
Pavlovian
man.
slip.
Oh man.
That's a Freudian slip, but I got dog on the brain. Now I'm saying Pavlovian. You never bring a dog to a ghost fight.
Yeah, you do.
No. They just run away. They're scared all the time. They don't know how to attack a ghost.
Well, you always bring them because they will be the first ones to notice and sense shit ain't right.
I guess you're right.
They always freak
but
out
they always
first.
scare me when they get scared. I'm like, if the dog's scared. See, if the dog wasn't scared, I'd be like a little bit more brave. I wouldn't even know there was a ghost there.
Exactly.
But I guess I'd die quicker.
a little alarm
Lot
system.
to think about when I go to the next haunted castle with my dog.
Yeah. But sure enough, Bobo the Wonder Dog started barking his head off and freaking the fuck out over nothing that was visible by Hannah and Tyler. Tyler described a feeling of being followed or watched during their entire tour of the castle. And later that day, after returning home to Prague, Hannah and Tyler went to retrieve their car to find that it was missing.
What?
And they contacted the police, and the police found a bunch of black-winged monsters joyriding it through the city.
Wouldn't that be so good if that's how the story ended? Like, oh, it looks like they did fucking break through. Like, all this speculation. Like, no, we found a bunch of fucking demons driving your Toyota Corolla around the fucking countryside.
Your Corolla's totaled.
That's so fucking
Toyotled.
funny. You know what else I thought was funny? You're like, Tyler felt weird when he was giving his tour around the castle, almost as if he were being watched. I'm like, motherfucker, you're a tour guide. What the fuck do you expect? He's like, why are you guys all fucking following me? Stop looking at me.
Well, I'm pretty sure this was like a scoping mission.
Yeah.
Like they're going without the tour.
Yeah, I figured. But
But yeah, so they contacted the police, and police found the car within a couple of hours, but it had already been stripped of its valuables and was completely destroyed.
whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Those damn Nazis. It was either the Nazis
Goddamn
or the
Nazis.
black-winged monsters, and I don't know. Some say they're
They could be one
and
the same.
Oh,
One's,
oh, damn.
So this brings us to the end of my story of the Houska Castle. So if you're ever enjoying yourself a cheap, delicious Pilsner beer the size of your head with a nice pork knuckle or a goulash with potato dumplings in the incredible city of Prague, maybe do us a favor and go check out this haunted castle.
You eat pig knuckles?
Oh yeah.
Oof. Oof.
It's not really like a knuckle. I think it's the shoulder joint. It's like
Oh.
massive.
Okay.
It's huge. It's fucking massive.
You gotta give me a pig knuckle next time I'm there, I guess. And then play some pea knuckle.
Oh yeah. On the pork
because they
knuckle.
kind of sound similar. That's why I want to do it. If you didn't get
Yeah.
it, David,
I don't think anybody did.
and then I want to pee on some guy's knuckles.
Let's wrap this up.
Okay, so I think that's the end of the episode. If you guys want any more information, you can't go to our website because we didn't pay the subscription again to renew it. So our
You guys weren't going enough.
so the website's down, but don't worry. If you guys still want merch, you can go click our link in our Instagram bio, and there's a little link tree there, and you can go and check out the merch there. You could find all of our Spotify, our Apple Podcast link. You go check all that out. It's right in there. And if you guys want to rate, review, and subscribe, you can go to Apple Podcasts and do it there as well. If you guys want to send us any emails, you can just send it to campstrangepodcast@gmail.com, and we'll respond. We're getting some emails, some very nice emails, and we always love responding to them. So do that if you can. And David, are we doing what else we got?
Yeah.
What else we got?
Let's do it. I got Danny Glover's high school diploma.
I got 3 nipples, and they're all way too big.
Where can I ask where the third one is?
Below.
Just below.
Wouldn't you like to see it? You'd be.
You know, that's a good answer.
That's
keep the listeners really just
really guessing.
wondering. Yeah. I got a beer made of mud.
A beer made of mud?
A beer made of mud.
Ooh, I got a picture frame with the Declaration.
I see you looking at a wall.
I'm looking at a picture frame, but it's got the Declaration of Independence on it with a map on the back for treasure. Good movie.
Good movie. I got a gnat the size of a rat.
I got a cat the size of a bat. Don't fucking do this. I'll play ball with you, bitch. I've got a bat.
I've got a cactus wearing sunglasses. That's a cool fucking cactus, man.
I got Cactus Jack, Mankind, and Mick Foley, and dude, what was the other guy? His other hippie persona. What was that? Yeah. I'm talking WWE, dog. I'm talking like all the personas.
You know, I remember Cactus Jack. I remember Mankind when he put the sock on his hand, but I don't remember the hippie persona.
His name was like Dude something. Dude. Oh,
Dude
fuck.
Love?
Yeah.
Dude Love?
Yes.
Was it?
I think it was Dude Love. Did you guess that?
Yeah.
Did you? Oh, okay. Wait.
You said hippie.
Wait. Is it Dude Love? Is it? Oh my God! It's fucking Dude Love.
Don't Google Dude Love. Bad things are gonna pop up.
Oh, I got another massive black hole coming up. I found my next story for next week. Anyway, I think we should wrap it up there. Thank you guys.
I got Hulk Hogan's mustache.
You guys. Oh, that's on this page too.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for tuning in. We love telling you these stories, and we love when you stick around. You listen to them. David, do you have anything to say before we leave?
I'm just gonna stick with this one. Wear your fucking mask.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Just do it.
Pretty good.
It's not hard.
No. And
Yeah, you can breathe through it. Stop saying you can't breathe through it, you dipshit. Wear your fucking mask.
And don't forget to stay strange.